Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Keith here from Come On The Hoop Celtic. I have a special guest on tonight, a TikTok friend of mine, a man that's doing well on TikTok, you could say. You know, he's at the taking on his TikTok world with all his solo ballads, covers. His name is Jack Maxwell, so you're very welcome to my channel, Jack. You've been following me stuff for a long time now, so I thought we'll get you on and have a chat with you about this weekend coming up, about Celtic in general this season. A season that a lot of people want to forget about, and we'll knock it on about the transfer talk as well. So, Jack, tell us a bit about yourself. What got you into the whole Celtic philosophy, loving Celtic?
I suppose it was my dad got me into it when I was only small. He would brought me down to the pub to watch the games, and he brought me over to Glasgow a couple of times as a young lad. So, and that was it. And then, kind of later in my teenage years, I wasn't so much into it. You know yourself, you'd be tipping around, going to nightclubs and different stuff. But then since, the lockdown and the last few years playing music, just got really back into it now. And yeah, big Celtic fan like in the last few years now. But I've been always, since I was small, I've always, Celtic tops, brought the games, looked at the results and stuff. So it would have been a way of life, I suppose.
That's it. Hello to everyone that's watching on Facebook and YouTube. You were saying, like, obviously, when your teenage days, when you're going out to nightclubs, you're going over in bits. The next day, Celtic could be over in the Bitodry, and you're just like, oh, Jesus, I can't stomach another drink. Will I go back on it again?
Yeah.
But, right, what has been the highest point as a fan?
In the last few years, I suppose, it would have been the Invincible season the last few years. Like when I first got into Celtic, it was like prime Henrik Larsson, Alan Thompson, Bobo Balde. Like it was that was like when I first got into Celtic, that was those years, like, which are, Seville 2003. They're some of the best years in the club's history. So that's when I would have first getting into it as a boy, like. So you could not be like a Celtic fan. Like I remember being brought over, and I think the first game I was brought over to, like, Henrik Larsson wasn't playing, and I was just devastated. But like seeing Alan Thompson and all live was just something else. And but yeah, in the last few years, it would have been like
it's gas. You were saying that when you say Alan Thompson, I'm thinking of like a comedian the way you said that, Alan Thompson.
But like, yeah, there would have been him, Chris Sutton, like those years. That's when I got into Celtic, and but like in the last few years, like in fairness, like Brendan Rodgers' ethos, like those couple of years, even though it's a little sore with Brendan because he left us so soon, but like there were some great years. Like you have to put them up with the best, one of the best Celtic teams we had, like the Invincibles, the treble winning team.
This season's been hard to stomach. It's been hard because there's been so many claymores that have hit us. So many times we fell down. The Derby games and the European failure, then getting knocked out of the League Cup as well, and then St. Mirren result, and then coming back from the boy scandal. It's a laughing stock. Like, you never imagine that we're on the tip of making massive history, and it's just complete failure. Now, the only thing that we have left to do is get some sort of consolation of beating them twice. It's the only thing we can aim for. And you confident at all with John Kennedy in the ropes for the rest of the season? You think that we could go on the winning run?
Like, we weren't doing so bad. Like, we were, like, I know we had the mess up against Ross County, like, but like we weren't playing great, but we were getting results. Like, I don't know. Like, I missed the game last week. I was working the Saturday and I missed the Aberdeen game. Now I heard it wasn't great, and the team selections wasn't like got much different. Like, but the confidence has been better out of this team this season. Like, so I think we have to sort of look at the positives and what can we get out of it. Like, and I think it's just it's a rebuild from now, I suppose, from now till next September or next August, late August.
I completely agree with you. Like, it's just everything has gone to the how would you say, to the dogs. I know I've said it many times on TikTok. People ask me, and then on YouTube the same kind of stuff. And I'm not getting a stage where you can't put the finger on it. It was everything. Nil, bored, players not being hungry enough, the fans not being there. We just have to take it on the chin and get on with it, rebuild for next season. I know it's Callum McGregor is admitting now that we have to rebuild. He's only admitting it now, which is it's crazy to go think that we're going like it's been going on for ages. The Aberdeen game was literally. It's like Lennon was literally there because it was the same style of football. Nothing has changed. Kennedy and Strachan are going to keep it the same level that the way Lennon had it. I can't see much being changed.
Yeah, but like you look at like what is there to change? Like, and I think going forward, you know, you're trying to what's the balance? You know, who do you like? What do you let go? Okay, well, probably Edouard's going to be going. So who do you keep? Who do you keep? Who do you build around? Okay, if David Turnbull, you try to build around him. It's all these kind of questions you're kind of looking at now.
15 million for Edouard. Do you think it's a mock, or do you think it's reality that you'd accept it? What realistically?
Yeah. Well, like if you asked like this time last year, you would have laughed at. But even though he's 21 goals this season and he's the top goal scorer, like I think most Celtic fans are saying like he's not playing like Eddie can play. Like he's scoring goals and you see moments of brilliance from him. But it's kind of it's the telltale. It's the story of the season really. Like it's just been hot and cold, kind of moments of magic, dragging through games, and it's just I suppose the little bit of class Celtic have seen in miniature moments in games that's kind of got us through this season so far. Like, but what has us in second so far behind Rangers?
100%. There was a spell in the game last week. I don't know if you heard about it. So it was around stoppage time. Edouard had a chance. He was 1-on-1. He could have passed it to Sorrow and slotted it in to make it 2-0. And he decided to go greedy with it and take too much touches over. And there was another stage in the game as well. I don't think he wants to be at Celtic. He wants to move away. You know, I think he's realised now. Like at the end of the day, I completely understand. You know, he's not a Celtic boy. He came to the club. Most players come to the club and use Celtic as a feeder, as a stepping stone to move on to something bigger and better, as they think. Some players think that. It didn't happen with Gary Hooper. Gary Hooper went to Norwich, went all downhill from there. Look, now he's playing. I think he's playing in India now, or he's still playing. I still think it was. I think no, was it? He was playing last in Wellington in New Zealand, and then he went to India.
Yeah. Well, like so, I wouldn't like there's kind of a positive and negative to that. Like, and I was listening to a podcast today about even managers coming in and doing that. Like even Rodgers, like come in and use Celtic as a stepping stone. It's sort of you can take it as an insult, but like if it comes in and works, where's the insult? Like, as long as Celtic are getting results, winning games, winning trebles like we're doing before, what's the problem in it? Like, I know you don't want managers leaving halfway through seasons. But
this is the thing, though. Rodgers put Celtic at a level that we haven't been at a level since Martin O'Neill days. You know, considering the type of players that we had. Martin O'Neill's legacy of football, they were all battlers. We didn't have them type of battlers. What the difference with Rodgers' style of football to O'Neill's style is they were just slick passing, aggressive. It was much better, and plus he got us a treble. He got us a double treble. He built a good side there for Neil to take over and keep that tradition. But Neil obviously kept that tradition for the Scottish Cup, and then last season you could see the twerks being changed. Obviously, changes the different styles of football around. You've seen when he got beaten by Rangers last year. He 2019 actually, December 2019, they beat us in Celtic Park, and then you could see Lennon changed it around, went to the boy, changed the style of football around. He introduced Edouard and Griffo front.
But I think it was a late January, like the Scottish League Cup final, like Rangers, like that was the start of the polar opposite.
That was December. That was December.
December.
That was when your pal was in the booth singing.
yeah. Was it? Oh, the same night, yeah, because I was down in Waterford for watching the game, and like that's like obviously it changed our season and Rangers stepped back, but like there was like you could see that they were we were stepping back like from what it was seasons previous to that. Like
you can see the fitness. You can see with that final, right? I know it was only a 90-minute final, but you could see with the levels of fitness that it was starting to creep in.
Yeah.
That like I understand Lennon defended said, well, we went to high temperature intensity training in Dubai. It's what we needed. But at the end of the day, in a global pandemic, you don't go there. If you're really that serious about heat training, just whack a load of leading heaters into Lennoxtown in the indoor pitch.
No, that was a big mess up now by the club. I think that the whole Dubai debacle, it really was now. Like, just you're waiting for it to happen. Really, like you're just waiting for it to hear what confirmed cases was there, and like.
What did you think of Lawwell coming out? Like, it was just one of the worst things I've ever seen.
It really was. It was a slap in the face. It was a slap in the face to fans, I suppose. Like, it just was the whole. Like, it really did. Like, not as some. I suppose if you look back at, like, say, go forward and look back on the season, it summed up the whole season.
What hurts you more, straight? What hurts you more? Losing the league potentially if we beat them them 2 games, losing the league by 12 points. Or losing the league by way of our cock-ups, these things off the field. What hurts more?
No, the off the field, definitely. Like, you know what I mean? If you're beaten by the better team, you're beaten by the better team. So
the likes of St. Mirren and dropping points from Livingston and Hibs and all that, it doesn't really hurt that much as the way that the club conducted themselves.
Yeah, I think so.
Dealing with the fans. You wouldn't even say dealing with the fans because it was statements that were generated on the website. You know, what was your reaction going back to last? It's mad. I think Neil Lennon's only gone a week now.
Yeah.
What's your reaction when you seen the rumours that Lenny was going?
I thought it was I was surprised by it. Like when he got this far. Now I know the Ross County. The Ross County result. I think when he got this far, I thought he was going to be here for the season. Now I didn't think he'd be here next season, but I thought he would get the season over. The board were backing him for the entire season. Now maybe it was just a decision himself, like just to look. I can't take this any longer, like, and step away.
You look on the Ross County one, guys that's watching there. Gary, guys was saying that he was interviewed by BBC Scotland, and he just looks distraught. And then you get a lot of people were getting angry with him because the way he's smiling. But that smile was before he started getting the questions were asked at him. Yeah, asked him at Sky Sports as well. Yeah. He done everything he could. And I know a lot of people say his legacy is ruined at Celtic. He ruined 10, but he won 5.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was tarnished.
He actually realistically won. He won 10 titles as a player and a manager, and as a manager, he won 10 honours. So how could your legacy be ruined on one bad season?
No, I wouldn't go that far. No, definitely. A lot of frustration there, like, but not ruined. No, definitely not ruined.
I agree. There's been many times where I watch his press conferences, and after game, like, can he not just walk away from me? Can he not just walk away from me?
Yeah,
he's done everything. What I always say this to the boys on the podcast, and I've went through about 6 or 7. What was the game said to you? He has to go. What was the particular game? Was it a Ferencváros? Or was it a domestic game that you said, right, enough's enough? What was the game that's solid to you?
I think it was the cup exit. I really thought
the Ross County.
Yeah, I thought it was the cup exit because there would have been enough time there. Like if you just said, right, it's not working out. Like because there was a couple of bad results or a couple of poor results up to that point, and then that seemed to be like that was. I think that was a change of point with a lot of fans, like, and a lot of protests started kind of around that time as well. So. No, I think there was the cup exit now, personally.
It is a heartbreaking feeling to think like this was a man when I think it was his 4th season actually. His 4th season he went off with the trophy to the Green Brigade, and then at the same time I understand certain fans are passionate and he wanted the best for Celtic and believe, but certain fans went too much with him. So there was so much abuse from certain fans saying, "Get the F Lennon, this and that. You're this and that." And I was like, Jesus Christ! Like, people don't understand what he has generated as well. There's been more good moments with Neil Lennon than bad moments. The it's crazy to think he went from the highs of Barcelona to the lowest to Dingwall. It really is crazy to think how it's gone. Well, we'll talk about odds and Edouard anyway. I'll ask you towards the end about the managerial, who the next manager should be and stuff like that. Edouard. 27 goals last season. He's after getting obviously the player of the month for February. Valuation, you did say, if you asked me this time last year, you would have been laughing at 15 million. There was a point where you were looking at and saying, yeah, this guy's probably looking at 40 million.
Yeah. Well, like if you say, you can't compare him, but like if you look at what Tierney went for to Arsenal, and then you're looking at a striker who has been the most prolific striker in Scotland, even this season still, like you're looking at like 15 million. I don't know. I think it's definitely Celtic are going to use that money to rebuild.
It's not. It's Jack. The thing is, we're not even going to get a part. I think it's between 30 to 40%. I'm not accurate with this figure. Goes to PSG. So like, it's a slap in the face for us if we were to take that money.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Jeremy went for 11 million. It was 11.5 million. And I understand he has a year left in his contract, but like, this is a lad that has broken the record for the French under 21s.
Yeah.
27 goals in one season. He scored in Europa League games, Champions League qualifying games. He scored in derby games against Rangers, if you really want to put it down to that as well. Like, he scored in every aspect for Celtic.
Yeah.
He has a free kick attribute. He can play up front on his own. He can mark. He can play with another striker, which all strikers should do anyway. But he's a winner. But as you said, his attitude is not there with Celtic. He's lost the hunger. And as I really believe with Olivier gone now, and obviously when Musa left as well, I don't think he's the same lads.
Well, yeah, like I mean, obviously there was like that. The French
connection.
The French boys he had with him, like, and even like Julian is back in France now doing his rehabilitation. So like that's another, because around the time with the boy thing, wasn't Eddie out because he was in connection with was he a close contact with Julian that time? Like, so like there you go, like that's, so he kind of maybe feeling it on his own, but like I think the best Celtic we've seen all season was when him and Griffiths were up front. Because like he's played along with Griffiths for the last couple of seasons, I don't think he's getting that with Ayeti or if Klamana's on the pitch or even up front on his own. Which I don't think he is a lone striker. He's not. He's a player that plays off other strikers. Like he's a player that plays off other players, or a striker that plays off other players. I think.
100%. If you're watching on Facebook, give it a share, folks. Give it a tag. I'm going to go through his comments as well. I'm not annoying you, by the way. I just don't want to be putting Jack in the mix straight away, and then I'm questions and stuff are coming in. If a lot of people are talking about Tierney here, obviously we stalled on Tierney. It took them 3 bids to get Tierney over the line. Arsenal. Can Celtic? Do you think Celtic should take the chance with this one, or do you think they'd be too cautious, or do you think they'll just take the 15? Do you think that we could say, right, now 15 million is laughable, because especially with Brendan Rodgers, I think they'd be stubborn when it comes to it. I think you know what, give me another higher offer.
No, definitely hold out for the higher offer. Like he's a quality striker. Like he is a goal scorer, and he will score goals. Like you said, he's scoring goals in Europe.
So, Leicester's played though. I don't know if I've watched a good bit of Leicester this season. I've watched a good bit of the Premier League.
Yeah.
You think he would be the ideal fit for Jamie Vardy though?
No, I seen something about Arsenal. I think there was earlier from January time there was links with Arsenal and that. I think he'd be more suited to Arsenal than Leicester now. Leicester play on the front foot. They like Jamie Vardy plays on the kind of on the last defender, but I don't think he fit that style of play. But like if Rodgers wants him, he knows what he's like, so you can see why the links are there. Like,
right, 15 million. Give us some players in exchange. I said this on my YouTube video earlier on about the whole Edouard thing. I think Benkovic is still at Leicester. He's on loan though. I think at Bristol or Barnsley or somewhere like that.
Yeah,
that's Benkovic. Let me have a look now. Philippe Benkovic. Right. So Benkovic is currently in. He's actually, apologies, folks. I'll completely apologise. He's in Belgium. Don't know why you said that. So he's in Belgium, right? I don't know if he's being sold to that team in Belgium. I don't think so. I think they had a link anyway with Leicester, that team. Right, he's on loan. So if Leicester came in with 15 million and Philippe Benkovic, would that be enough?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't think so. I wouldn't be happy with it. To be honest with
Even though we need a centre back. So, argument's sake, Christopher Royer goes
you. Yeah,
3 or
which he
4
probably
days,
will.
3 or
Yeah.
4 days before Odds Edouard is the bid comes in,
Yeah.
15 million. Do you take it? Do you take the 15 million and Benko? Because we all know what
Yeah.
Benko can do for Celtic.
Yeah. I suppose you got a point there. Yeah. Yeah. Because like that's where we've definitely fell down the most now this season is centre half. So I don't know. It's hard to tell. Like I'd probably like rather a higher cash offer now than a player swap kind of thing. Because like
I'd take 10 million. I'd take Danny Ward and Benkovic for Edouard.
Yeah.
Danny Ward, the keeper that played for Aberdeen, Liverpool's keeper. He's only played like 7 times for Leicester in the last 3 years, whatever. But he's played in the SPL. He knows what the crack is.
Yeah. That'd be better deal, all right. Yeah.
Danny Ward, why not? He's still a Welsh international as well. He's behind Hennessy, but he's still in the Wales squad. And look at Wales. Look at the way he was part of that Euro team that got to the semi-finals as well.
Yeah, but like I suppose you can. Like we have strikers. I think it's just like Eddie is just going to be. You want to get the most amount of money for him because whichever manager comes in, he's going to use that money to try to rebuild the squad and add players where he wants to add players. That's my opinion of it. That's my thinking.
So Gas says, I disagree about Edouard looking unhappy. I think personally he looks okay to be. He will always want to be probably leaving the summer anyway. You know, you can't blame the lad. That's it. Like if you're playing for a club like Glasgow Celtic where you've been at your heights that you never imagined in your career, winning trebles and seeing the fans adore you, and then coming to scenes where fans are outside the stadium, a portion of fans outside the stadium throwing railings and trying to attack the bus. What would you be saying? I'd be like, yeah.
I say he's just more unhappy with the way the season's gone, kind of thing. You know, like he's kind of always been he's always been a player that's kind of very relaxed, and he always kind of seemed that maybe a little bit on the lazy side kind of thing. You know, that kind of maybe Mesut Ozil kind of temperament. Because looking at interviews and stuff, he's very
similar to what Giroud was like at Arsenal. He just didn't show the passion that much, but you knew he could do it, turn it on.
Well, maybe, I think he's just kind of a quiet person. Like just from looking at interviews of him, he's kind of a very quiet person, a very introverted person. Like so, I think that's just him on the field, I suppose, more so than not care and or not want to do well. Because when I heard the links of trying to move to other clubs, I thought it might spur him on to bit to score.
But does it not annoy you though? Like he done it in an interview with him there the other day for his goals for Celtic, important goals that made him odds now where at Celtic, and he's doing all in French. Like this is a guy that's at the club since September 2017, and he's doing all in French.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it could be a little bit of a Gareth Bale kind of situation there.
Could be worse. Could be Joey Barton trying to talk in French. Remember that interview? So we have Dundee tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow. Sunday. Jesus, keep saying tomorrow. Yeah. The way this week is going, so Dundee away. We beat them 1-0. He scored last couple of minutes of the game. Third place Tannadice. We've had some great moments at Tannadice. We go back to 2007 and 8 season when Jan scored that goal to get us 3 in a row. I'll always remember the good moments. Did we beat them? We ended up beating Dundee United 3-2. Tony Watt and Miku scored for us that game. We ended up wearing the white jerseys with the Celtic cross. We did.
Yeah, we're going back a couple of seasons there.
Oh, we're going back to 2012, 13. That was the set. The two that would have been 2 in a row then. So basically, they have only 2 wins in the last 5. Now they got beaten by Rangers 4-1 last time they were in Glasgow. I know we're playing them away. They won the last game. they got hammered by St Mirren at home. Like it was 5-1 or
Yeah.
4-1 in the last couple of weeks. So, regards to Shankland, do you rate Shankland for them?
To be honest, I haven't seen much of Dundee. You know, I couldn't say no. No, I have seen the beat St Johnston, and St Johnston gave us problems. I think like they could have only for 2 good moments from Eddie. Like they were well in that game. Like so, like and they're a mid-table side. I think it's going to be tough. Plus the way I don't think all the confidence isn't there in the squad. Like so, I'm hoping for a win, but then again, Celtic can be easily got at, and it seems to be the high ball. So I think
If we play the way that we played on Saturday against Aberdeen, I know we got that goal odds and Edouard. I wouldn't be confident. I think to be a draw. It would be a draw, folks, and that's be really honest with you. Is like I know, like there's nothing to lose now at this rate. You know, the only thing is to fight back a bit of pride. And again, someone's had to ask me, what do you think of the last derby this season? Well, I'm quite confident going to Ibrox and actually getting a result. I've been saying it for months. I'm quite confident that Rangers team has cracks in it. I know the league will be done and dusted by then. They'll probably take the foot off the pedal against us. I know it sounds crazy for a Glasgow derby, but that's what could happen. And then I don't know. I just have a feeling. I just have this little sneaky feeling. Klopp's going to walk away from Liverpool job, and Liverpool are going to try to get Gerrard. He's not good enough for Liverpool.
I think I was talking to him the other day, and I think that's if you're talking about Gerrard, I think he was sent away. You know, get your training done, and then when you're ready, come back and take that job. Like so, I wouldn't be surprised. Like
because the way that if you said that to me, like just say the way everything's gone with like in football these days with managers like Lampard, Solskjaer and stuff like that. That what like Arteta's and all these boys that have walked into these big jobs. Why it wouldn't stop Steven Gerrard getting at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a couple of Liverpool pages like just Liverpool fans like, oh, he's done a great job, well done. No, I'm just like, get a grip. He's still not good enough for Liverpool, regardless if he's a club icon for them or whatever. He's still not good enough. Okay, well, there's no question about it that he has transformed Rangers. He has transformed them. You can't deny that.
Well, I think apart from this season, like towards the end of last season, they were playing like they played decent football last year, and towards the end of they had that kick up, but they transformed this season. Now I don't think he's totally transformed the club. I think it's still a squad that's got some older players. Like if we can hold on to our younger players and get some new players in, I'm not sure about next season, but like I definitely think we can come back stronger. Like it's just been more consistent this season, I'd say now and they've been good in Europe. But like I wouldn't like you said, there's cracks in that Rangers team. Like we got Adam in Ibrox, you know.
You should have got something in Ibrox, to be honest.
That's what I mean. Like we did. Like they didn't only for 65 minutes, 70 minutes till Bitton got Beaton got sent off. Like we were all over them. Now you can look at us. We're like in seasons gone by. We would be more clinical. You know, McGregor pulled a great save off against and Griffith's chance.
One of the best saves I've ever seen in world football, and that's the truth.
Yeah. So but still we're dominating them. But I definitely think I think we're missing Forrest in a big way. Like I think we're playing, like we've got a lot of players trying to play the same position. If you get me, it's kind of it's not the Celtic ball. It's not as creative. We're not getting.
It took us. It took us what till the end of January to actually get a player in that can play on right back.
Yeah,
like Jeremy Frimpong was more of a winger. Like I wish him the very best. And I don't know if you've watched his interview. I'm talking about the way that Celtic has been in the last couple of months. He talked about on when he was doing a press conference in Leverkusen, actually defending Lennon. But he did turn out and say that you can't win everything. And he's right, you can't win everything in football.
Yeah.
Regardless if you have the biggest salary or the biggest stadium or have winners, players run out of hunger. And this is where these players, like the likes of Christie, other players, like if I was the club, I'd do everything in the world to keep Oyer.
Yeah.
Give him the vice captaincy, give him an extra 15 grand salary. He's worth it. You see how much Oya has impacted that team since December to now.
But I mean, if you look at like the players are missing, like Julian, like Forrest all season, down that right wing has been diabolical this season. Like even when Frimpong started playing well, like if you had a right winger in front of him to open up that little bit of space so he can get around the opposing full back and get to it. Like I know his crossing it was let him down a little bit as well, but like when he got Christie in front of him, Christie just wanted to get the ball and come back inside with it. Like so, and he's not, that's grand if he's gonna take full back on and he's got that, he's the opposition full back doubting whether he's going to come back inside or lay it back off to Frimpong or to Kenny, but they weren't doing that. Like they weren't.
We're not going to have this. We're not going to have an established right back.
Yeah.
In the summer, like I can't see us coughing up the money for John Joe Kenny.
Yeah.
Like I think the only way we keep John Joe Kenny if we get a decent manager in, like an Eddie Howe or a Rafa, that you'd be like, I want to go back to Celtic and see something being built there instead of being at Everton and hoping for the best if someone gets injured at Everton, so you get a chance. The only chance he's gonna feature for Everton is going to be the Carabao Cup. It's the only one, or the FA Cup.
Yeah, no, he certainly is a player that can be got. Like come in, like he seems to be a Celtic fan. So and he's doing an okay job. I think going forward, I haven't seen a whole lot from him, but like he's doing a decent job at right back. Like, but it comes back to the money. Like that's where you need to get cash in as much as you can for like the players that are going to leave, not just letting them leave. Try to get as much as you can so you can, invest. Keep Mohamed El-Nussi, John Joe Kenny. These players you want to try to keep.
Do you think El-Nussi would actually be able to do a job next season? Because fair enough, he has scored in big games this season. He got a good hat trick against Motherwell. It's mad to think like on that Thursday he was caught on his phone, and then the Sunday he goes up and scores a hat trick. Yeah,
no, he's a player that like it's kind of been the tale of our season. Like it's kind of been hot and cold with Mo as well. But he has got quality, and I think like
even against Lille away, they got the 2 goals, 2 lovely goals.
Well, exactly. Like, and I think with a correct guidance and a proper like a decent manager in, and give the team confidence back again. Like the same, like a lot of these players are just lacking confidence.
Do you think the players have been puzzled and confused considering all the change of formations every couple of weeks as well? That could be a big massive factor as well. Why it has gone bad as well.
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
Like you were saying about Mohamed, where do you play Mohamed? You don't play him in that type of diamond. If you're going to play Mohamed, you play him behind the 2 strikers.
Yeah,
or play him as a striker then with
Yeah, when he kind of plays that off a striker, he seems to do it. That's when he seems to be at his best, anyway. I think. So,
Tom Logic, what's your opinion on what's going to happen with Tom?
I just don't think it's there anymore for Tom. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just he's coming deep. It's not working out for him. I don't think. Like it's not. It's kind of like Christie. I think it's just little moments of magic that he's kind of going off. In my opinion, anyway.
I agree. I think Christie. Look, Christie has great potential to be a quality baller. It's just I've seen a lot of people saying his dad's probably trying to get him a move down south and stuff like that. But if maybe just realised, right, Jesus Christ, I want to treble. I've done this. I've done. What else can I do with Celtic? Yeah. Celtic are not competitive in European standards at the moment. Like we got knocked out of a bad group. A bad group, like I know Milan were on good form at the time. Lille was always going to be a tough team, and I know we got the points against Lille, home and away, and we got the draw against Lille away. But we could have been Sparta Prague. We should have been Sparta Prague. When the draw was done, I was like, I could fancy us beating Sparta Prague home and away, maybe a draw at home, and beating Lille at home, and I was potentially thinking of a draw away, but because that was the foundations that we done from the previous season. Like we don't really go to the previous season. Like the group that we had the previous season, who did we have? We had Rennes, Cluj, and Lazio. Really tough group. You seen how
Yeah.
well Rennes played in the French league that season.
Yeah.
You seen how well Lazio played last season when they got knocked out of Europe. They were absolutely unbelievable in Serie A. So, regards going back to Neil Lennon, I don't think he was a good man manager this season. And it's not just himself. I think Kennedy's a defensive coach. He's been in this role for a long time. And I was listening to Brendan Rodgers' interview the other day talking about John Kennedy saying that he knows club inside out. He'll get these boys up for it. He's a real good professional coach. And he's learned a lot when he worked with John Kennedy up in Glasgow. I've heard people talk. Damon Duff has said great things about John Kennedy as well.
Yeah.
And I'm not picking on I'm not on the Kennedy parole fan here, folks. I'm not a big fan of John Kennedy, just to stay there, but I'm going what people have said. Regards to John Kennedy, he's like, when you concede set pieces in one or two games, especially the biggest rivalry game, the derby game, you should learn from that. Knock that on for the season. But it's been replica the way we've fell this season, especially at home. These set pieces against us.
Yeah. It's kind of just, there's uncertainty, especially in defense. Like that's been our Achilles heel. Like and set pieces, especially. And as an Irishman, you feel for Duffy, like, and he just hasn't come in. He hasn't performed, but he's just looked like a sheep in the headlight or a deer in the headlights when it comes to set pieces. Like, and I think that's been our biggest downfall, I suppose.
It's like, you know, it's hard to explain. It's like clocks change, so the clocks are turned. So when you're a lower team or a lower country in the World Cup, and you're at the getting a counter-attack goal, like give you a prime example. When we scored against Italy in the Euros, Italy were all over us, but we defensively done well. But like, we should be having the best defense in the league, and then these mini teams know how to capitalize from it. They're like, right, target their right back, let them give away a stupid foul, and let's just send everyone up besides the keeper and hit them. Because the zonal market hasn't worked for Celtic. I don't even know if Celtic even know what zonal market is. And that's like a lot of people criticise Rafa Benitez for that at Liverpool. He's zonal marketing. The way it never worked for him. Because I'll give you a prime example. I remember there was an Arsenal and Liverpool game where he was criticising the Champions League. They played during the Champions League. And Liverpool went on to win that tie. But the zonal market, especially corners, like uncertainty with the keepers. Like, you can't keep changing the keepers around. 3 keepers in one season is ridiculous. And it's not the case that Neil Lennon has literally washed this up so many times, saying this player's injured, that player was injured, this player wasn't up for it, that player had this. But 3 keepers in a season is laughable. That is a massive mistake.
And like, I think taking like Hazard, like,
if you're on a cup run, you use 3 keepers. Fair enough.
Yeah, but like, I think when he was your alternate and you're trying to find your best keeper, trying to just get something that works. And Hazard came in. I think he had 2 good performances, obviously the cup final, and then just to take him back out again for to justify spending 7 million on Barkas, just to justify that. Was it 5.5? Just to justify that spending, like, it's just like you said, it's not going to. You're putting doubt in these players' mind, I think.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. 5 players you think will leave?
Edouard, Christie, Jonathan, I see Iyer going as well.
Tom.
Yeah, Tom could leave. I don't know if Brown's going to stay on any longer. I think he might go back to Hibs or something, maybe. I don't know. I think
it'd be devastating. I think it'd be as much. I'd love to see Brown stay on for another season. Not play the mental games he played this season, though. Cut that in half.
Yeah.
I just think he needs a good sending off with the Celtic fans. I know he had his testimony and stuff like that, which I was at, but I'd just like to see him stay on. I think he's a lot to bring to that team. And I know people might disagree and say, Well, he's a lot to bring to the team. Why we're in this shithole this season? Well, what has he done for the previous 9 seasons though, as a captain?
Yeah.
Scott Brown doesn't get the appreciation he should by some fans, and it makes me sick that some fans would look at him like, oh, his legs are gone, he's this and that, he's shy, he's this. Yes, he got sent. He had a couple of bad moments this season. He gave away a penalty away to Hibs. He got sent off within the space of 80 seconds on the pitch, was it? Against Livingston.
Yeah.
And then, moments like that. But, even when he scored against Kilmarnock a couple of months ago, or it was a month ago, 6 weeks ago, it doesn't seem like the same Scott Brown. I don't know if it's a case that him and Lennon weren't getting on in the background. Now, he did rate Lennon highly in the press conference. I don't know if it's just another Celtic FC stunt.
Yeah.
He worked well under Lennon. Lennon was the man that Mowbray gave him the captaincy, but Lennon kept him on as the permanent captain. And there was a project there. We won a Scottish Cup that season. We were unfortunate to win the league, and then we I know they played Kilmarnock, and then we played Motherwell at home the last game of the season. But we went on to win a Scottish Cup. Brownie, over 600 games, can't fault it. We will never, in modern day football, we will never get a captain like Scott Brown. Yes, we've had our Max Days and we've had our Caesars, but modern day football from 2000 on, Scott Brown, unreal.
Yeah, no, he has, and it hasn't been. I don't think he has been up for some of the season, but he's a professional. He's just going to give his all in every game. I think, and even just mentality. After you have a player of that caliber in your side, even in the training ground, it's going to benefit the team, I think. But
I like to see them get if he can't stay on as a player, give him a coaching role. Just give him something. Give him the youth. As you say, even bring him down with McManus down to the reserve team or whatever it is. But speaking of reserves, Cameron Harper, young boy, American lads, signed for Celtic a good few years back. Played one game against Hibs, didn't work out for him, but he's gone. Completely gone.
Well, that's the kind of the fear, isn't it? To be
Celtic.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the youth. Karamoko will be next.
Well, that's the player that you asked me there who is going to lead the club. That's another player who I think is going to lead the club. Especially when there's all this hype around him, I think he will, look to go and to get football elsewhere.
Where do you think his destination would be? It'd be a strange one. Would you think it would be one of these I can't see Dortmund sign him.
No, maybe a second division English team. Go down, play in England for a little bit, come through that way maybe.
Do you know what I think? I think he'll sign for a good club in England, but he'd be loaned out to a championship team.
I think so. I can
see the likes of this is a bit of a strange one. I can see the likes of an Everton getting him. I know he's not Everton class just yet.
Yeah.
Getting him, bringing him through. This is a guy he has a chance to play for England as well. He's representing England, so he's gonna struggle at getting into the Premier League and try make where it is. I just think Neil Lennon has made a massive cock up on this one. We should have played. We should definitely played Karamoko. Yeah.
No, I definitely think when stuff wasn't going well, that's how Turnbull came to light. By switching things around, he got his opportunity and he took it. And now he's been the player. He's been, suppose the only positive of the season is Dave Turnbull. So I don't see why they can't, try find a few more young players and bring them through. And
do you think Celtic have been preparing for life without Scott Brown by playing Callum McGregor and as the captain?
Yeah, but he's not the same as Scott Brown. I don't think they're two different players. They're kind of style of players. I don't think Callum McGregor's an out and out defensive midfielder.
He's not a wind up merchant. He's not
exactly. Yeah.
How to get, and that's what Scott Brown has masterclass for many years. Wind up merchant, getting stuck in. You've seen him. For an example, Aberdeen, wind up them that day, and then he actually got from one box and scored for us. But Scott Brown, yeah, I realistically think they're going to give the Callum McGregor. I know they will. He's going to get it anyway. He's going to be the captain right next season. If Oyer goes, give Davy Turnbull the vice captaincy. Why not? Like, and people might turn around and say, "Oh, well, he hasn't been at the club this long." But hold on a second. He is a player you build around. He was a leader for Motherwell.
Yeah.
A leader for Motherwell.
Yeah.
One season he scored 17 goals for Motherwell.
Yeah. No, I wasn't, like, I was kind of on the fence about, whether to hype him up as much, but I
doubt him. I doubt him.
Yeah.
See when we were linked with him, and I was like, what's the point? Why are we going for another Scottish midfielder? Like, why are we going? We have enough in the locker. And obviously, proved me wrong. Came in. It's been a joy to watch. His free kick against Hibs. His goals against Dundee United. His goal in Europa League. He's been a joy to watch. It's the only kind of highlight you could say this season. Of seeing him and Sorrow developing.
Apologies, Keith. I'm just going to go to the toilet if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll go through the comments anyway.
Cheers.
How's it going, Creevy? And I hope you're doing well. Kendi should play him now. We're talking about Karamoko. Definitely. I can't see it happening though. I really think we have been preparing for life without Scott Brown anyway. You see in these press conferences, you have a feeling that he is on his way out of the club in a player capacity, in playing capacity. If he goes to Hibs, let him go to Hibs. He's always going to be down as one of the best captains we've ever had, and that's what I'm trying to say to Celtic fans that are watching, some Celtic fans, that you're criticising really bad, but this is the man that was the captain for the treble. He's the captain. He's been the captain for the 9 in a row. So Brownie's won 10 titles as a player for Celtic. Stuff like that people forget about. I'm not trying to say you had to live in the past and compared to what current form is. He's 26 years. He has passed it, but in aspects, the criticism that some fans do towards him is it's not on. It's not on. Understand we're all to our frustrated opinions when it comes to losing the game, and like I was one of them people, and I say it straight. I was one of them people when Beaton got sent off. It was the deliberate red card. Beaton's was the deliberate red card, and I was like, you know what? I think that was our last throw of the dice. That was the last throw of the dice for us to try salvage back this league, and he was done a human error. And I know we have to take it as a team, but Beaton was a big problem there that day as well. We getting sent off because, as I said, Jack, there a couple of minutes ago, we had momentum playing them on that pitch until the 60th minute. You back? Hello? You back, Jack?
Hello?
You back again? You back? Yeah.
Back, yeah.
Good.
Back,
yes. Yeah. Good. So, give Lenny some credit going back in for Turnbull. Would you agree? Give him the credit.
Yeah, no, definitely. He has been. He's been the diamond in the rough this season. He has. He's a player to build around the future, and he is quality. Like, he's just like some of these passing, and obviously the goals he scored have been random, but passing, like his vision in that is brilliant.
I think Steve Clarke could be on crack if he doesn't pick him for that Scotland squad. I'd pick him ahead of Ryan Christie any day.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. No, 100%. Going off.
He probably will pick Christie because Christie was the sugar daddy that scored against Serbia.
Yeah, but it's kind of going like it's those little not to put down Christie, but it's those little moments every now and again. Like he has got quality, but I think Turnbull this season has been far more consistent and quality at the base.
See, so score prediction for Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff. What do you think?
2-1.
2-1. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Yeah, I think it's 1.
I'm gonna fancy 1-1 because I don't like saying the word fancy in a draw with Celtic, but the way the season has gone, I'm not trying to be buzzkill here, folks, but I just think Celtic haven't changed. I know it was only 3 or 4 days after Lennon left and played Aberdeen. Celtic won't change that system and that style of play because Neil Lennon's gone. We still have the same coaching staff there, so I still think there's a free kick in there, an uncertainty by Bain or uncertainty by our defence, regardless if it's like, as much as I keep saying this as well, Welsh has been a joy to watch as well. Welsh has been brilliant to watch.
Yeah, no, I agree there. Yeah, I think he's been solid when he's gotten in there. When he got in the chance, he's been solid.
I can see him being a future captain. I really do believe. I think he can be something else for Celtic if he gets the right defensive partner, and that's why I keep hoping Oyer stays, because him and Oyer have a great relationship. Welch will stay back, Oyer will do the runs, and not a lot of centre backs in world football do runs like that. The last Celtic player I can think that used to make centre back runs was Big Virgil.
Yeah, that's God. Yeah.
You go back. Remember that goal against St. Johnson with Virgil? Takes the whole St. Johnson team on. Unreal. But 2-1. Where do you think the goals are going to come from?
I think Turnbull might get another one.
I figured you were going to say that. Free kick,
and I think Eddie will. He's just scoring goals, even though he's not playing well. So I reckon Turnbull and Eddie.
Turnbull and Eddie. I'm gonna go. As I said, I'm gonna go 1-1. If you get a victory, happy days. Happy days. Every time I hope for something big, most of the time it's failed. So that's the reason why. But look, at least Hazard's at to sign a new contract as well. I know I have a feeling Conor Hazard, because whoever we try to keep next season, if we're going to keep Barkas on, I know at the moment Barkas is back in light training after a bit of a troubled ankle, you could say. But Kennedy, you can see a big difference with John Kennedy compared to his press conference last week than he done today. He spoke well today, as much as I still think he's not good enough near that job at all.
I suppose this guy you've worked with so long, left the club in charge. So I suppose he was. I imagine he was anxious himself, like.
Yeah, your sound keeps coming out now. I think it's because the earphones might be a bit away from you.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone. Right, we'll have to pass on without them anyway. But no, if he was to get that job, there would be absolute more on a permanent basis.
Yeah, definitely, I think so.
Said he's not good enough. I know people have argued back at me in the past saying, well, okay, I'm not picking up for John Lennon, John Kennedy. But Neil took the job with feck all experience.
Yeah.
And he went on a winning run. He won 12 games. The only game he didn't win was the Ross County game in the Scottish Cup, which was an embarrassment. Neil Lennon and Ross County just doesn't go well. Doesn't go well whatsoever. But realistically, who do you think is going to be the man?
I'd like to see Eddie Howe. I really do. I think the strong links there, and I'd like to see him come in. I think he's a manager that has, great quality, and he's a manager. I think that works pretty well with young players.
What I'm afraid is with Eddie Howe. Like, I'd love to get Eddie Howe. I want Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe him and Rafa be the boys, but the likes of Palace, Newcastle, they're all kind of looking at a manager. Someone said Arsenal, he's trying to haul off the Arsenal job. I don't think Arteta's going to get the big with Arsenal, to be honest. It's been a disappointing season for Arsenal this season, but yeah, they won the FA Cup last season and the Charity Shield, so we're here money in the door. So it takes a bit of time. Do you think Eddie Howe would get the money that you'd look for? Like, you think Eddie Howe might be saying to himself, right, if Celtic give me a budget of like 16 to 18 million to pump to the squad and rebuild the squad?
Yeah, I think that's the question with any manager. before going back to them. I think that was the problem with Rodgers. Problem with that, like, before manager back.
Yeah, like what I say about Eddie Howe is people are being criticising Eddie Howe saying he's no European experience, but like I think from getting a team from League Two into the Premier League and keeping them in the Premier League is good than having 1 year experience of Europe.
Yeah.
So he's worked with the youth of Bournemouth. He knows what it's all about. If you're going for Eddie Howe, as I said many times, go for Stephen Tindall. You have to get your second man in charge. You don't get Eddie Howe, because if you get Eddie Howe and John Kennedy's the second man in charge, yet again, we're still in for another shitstorm.
Yeah, not much change there.
I know. Obviously, John worked under Brendan and Ronnie as well. I know, obviously, Ronnie and John Collins he worked under, but I just don't want them there. And I think this would be a Lawwell stunt before if Celtic leave it too late. If they recruit a manager at the end of the season, they need to get a man in. Realistically, they need to get a man in before the end of this month to have some certain fans that ensure that they're going to get the season money next season. Because some fans will still have their doubts and leave it to the last.
And there's a lot of questions around that, I suppose, too. You know, whether the stadium is full, like, or and the stadium build fans get back in. A lot of questions like that. But I even as looking forward as a Celtic fan, might as well make the best of it. Like, get a man in out the squad. Like, kind of a lot of these leagues are now looking for, apart from the old firm game, best. They are sort of dead rubber. So let a manager come in, beat out the squad, see who he wants, where to go forward.
That's it, and that's like you need to have this lad in, even if he's taken over in May. Have him appointed, announce that this person's coming in. Like what happened with Gordon Strachan and Martin O'Neill. Gordon Strachan was confirmed literally a couple of hours after that he was going to be taken over from Martin's reign. That you have that insurance to fans, so at least you know that this, like the likes of Eddie Howe's working in the background. That he's meeting, he's Zoom calling these players, having a chat with them, getting to know them, and say, well, look, if you want to be a part of my plans, it's what you need to change. I've watched a couple of games and looked at your statistics. Because every football manager and coaches all these days, all go by digital statistics. That's the way they would do it. And go by that. For example, Christie's a prime example. Christie, the calibre to be the best midfielder in Scotland. In Scotland. By playing the right position, by having the right man management on him, having the right confidence, believing that he can be. Now, in his mind, he probably has his mindset of like, you know what, I'm just taking this salary, I'm going to go to England, I'm going to get 40 grand in England. What's the point of me playing for the Scottish champions? Well, I won't be Scottish champions anymore. Playing for these, I've done everything I could, I've won these medals. I just go to England and just play for, like, argument's sake, go to, I can't even, if I think of teams here in England, literally, I keep thinking Burnley would be an ideal fit, but you could go to Burnley would be an ideal one for him, that way. I can't even think of any Premier League things now. All the teams are gone. I'm just thinking of the top six. Southampton, another Stewie Armstrong,
Yeah, but like, here's a question for you, Keith. Would you be optimistic going forward next season if you got a manager in, got a good cup, even if we won the Scottish Cup, focus on the cup, and then we felt out the league, and just, got a good summer then ahead of us to rebuild then for next season?
Yeah. If we show a bit of character going, if we were to lose 2 of the derbies and win 2 of the derbies out of 4, right, and to lose the league by say single point margin and win a cup, I'd be happy with that season. Even a run in Europa League, last 16 Europa League or last 22, that would be a good season for me, considering it's a new manager.
Yeah,
I can accept that. I can accept not winning the league next season again. But it's the way the club sell themselves this season. Dominic McCoy's going to come in. a new different set of rules. Like hopefully it'd be more. And hopefully we get a director of football in as well. We need a director of football, a good CEO, which we know Dominic's going to be coming in. And if they can build a relationship with Celtic fans, get these Celtic fans aboard, so the likes of these AGMs and stuff like that. I don't know if you've ever watched I know it didn't work out for them, but have you watched Sunderland Till I Die?
Small bit of it. I watched a couple of episodes.
There's an episode in it where the chief executive and director of football get invited. Now it's the chairman. Was it the chairman or chief executive? The two boys anyway. Two head lads get invited to a pub in Sunderland, a supporters club, and they go in and sit there straight, few points, and you say, "Look, this is what we have in front of you. We're going to be brutally honest. We don't have what you expect us to have.
Yeah.
We're going to give you this clarity." If Dominic McCoy came out and said, "Look, we don't have this budget. We don't have the budget to get these players because we're in a pandemic. Our finances are tight. But yes, what we have made of selling this player, Odds Edouard, we can invest back in. We have a plan to spend 5 million on getting a striker in, or 6 million on getting a striker in. We have plans to strengthen the right back position on a permanent basis, because if Celtic go back down the same route that they've always been going down, which is the loan, 3 or 4 loan need players, and we don't get anything from it in the long term, it's a disaster because we're not making money from it. Look at Paddy Roberts. He was a prime example. You can't go down that route. And you mentioned Mohamed Enoussi. Yes, he's scoring goals, but are Celtic benefiting him? It's born a hole in Celtic's pockets because we're not making any money off this.
Yeah, but like in that, the reason a lot of the frustration, the protests were directed towards the board more so than Lennon. Like when you look at when the time John McGinn was, and we wouldn't fork out, it was an extra £500,000 or £1 for John McGinn. He's seen now for Villa. He's one of the most consistent midfielders in the league.
Yeah, he'd walk into
so like
majority of teams in the Premier League. I don't know about Chelsea or Liverpool now. Now Liverpool probably wouldn't need him the way they're playing, but you were once scoping at him like.
Well, that's it. Ferguson was saying he's one of the best things coming, like midfielders coming, like So like it's the question around whoever comes in, are they going to be backed? Are they going to get the money? Because they said they don't have money. They had it last decade. They're running this league. Europe, qualify for Europe as much, and our financials are by far the strongest in Scotland. But they said the club can't afford to, right, we're taking this now, we're taking this bad season, we've got to rebuild it, not put money. And it'd be just unwise, I think, especially when new CEO coming in. He's going to want to hit the ground running. He's going to.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know this sounds, some Celtic fans might think I'm playing on crack science, but I won't be surprised Celtic are planning financially that for Champions League failure. I will not be surprised they have that plan in place.
Yeah,
because as far as I know, it's third place playoff, or third round, and then fourth place playoff. Depends on the end of the season, the ratings with the coefficient. But we do have a Champions League qualifier, which is, it's still better than what we've previously done as champions. When you play as champions, you have to go and play 4 qualifiers to get into the League Champions League. So realistically, we'd have 4 games to get into the Champions League, and this is the likes of Eddie Howney's come out and say, right then, if you're taking me serious as a coach, you're taking me serious, and you're taking the Champions League serious, you could let me go out and buy players for the Champions League.
Yeah.
Let me go out and buy players. And that's why I think where it's hurt Celtic in many years, in the last 4 or 5 years. Players won't come to Celtic if they have to start that pre-season 4 weeks earlier than an English club.
Yeah.
Regardless if you have 60,000 a year, regardless you can have a chance to win the cup. I think a lot of players will be torn off that, and plus it's down to salary as well. And then Neil Lennon, a good manager as well, a proper marquee manager.
But like, if you're getting players in that are thinking about salary, do you want them there? Like,
well, it's a job. It's a job. It's a job. It's a job at the end of the day as well. You got to think about, like, these boys. If these boys are not Scottish and they have a chance to play for a massive club like Celtic, and argument say Crystal Palace comes in Crystal Palace offered them 35 grand and Celtic are only offering 28 grand. They're going to get the Palace. Someone will go to Palace, even though Celtic Park is twice the size of Selhurst Park, because they're getting the chance to play in the Premier League, the biggest league in the world. It's the most overrated league in the world. That Premier League has been killed. It's been absolutely killed since Farr's brought in. It's not the same.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how people can get a buzz of sitting there and watching the Premier League these days, because it is horrific. I know, I understand the fans are not in, but it's horrific.
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree. So, it's definitely.
Like, I didn't even know Liverpool and Chelsea were on last night until I was seeing on social media. I was like, what? It's like, jeez. Like, this, it's not the same. Because at least you'll have the bit of banter. You'll be like, oh, I can't wait for Liverpool and Chelsea. And then people will be talking about it for days. Just because now it's a bunch of boys that are getting like 90 plus grand to kick a football around the pitch. And they're no loyalty. And they all, like, look at the likes of, like, what's his name? Lingard. Lingard was more of an Instagram fan than anything else. A footballer. Now, he's doing class at West Ham, but that type of stuff, Pogba as well, like.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right, we're going to leave it there.
I agree. Don't need. Yeah.
We're going to leave it there. It's brilliant to have you on, Jack. If he's on TikTok, give Jack Maxwell a follow. He does a few lives on TikTok. As I said, it's gonna take a fancy offer to get him onto the Hoops Facebook page one day. We'll have to get a lucrative offer in there to get him. I think it'll be the new Dominic McCoy to get you across. But give him a follow on TikTok, folks, if he's on TikTok. If he's haven't subscribed to my own channel here, really appreciate if he's could. We're 80 away from the 5K. Now, Jack doesn't know what the 5K surprise is, but I'm going to fill Jack in behind the scenes what it is. But I really appreciate everyone watching tonight. I hope you've had a great Friday. But we're going to leave it there. Jack, you just stay there in that, and I'll talk to you off this. But